So here I am today. I'm going to show you how I'm going to hem the petal mat. And I started off a few stitches here. A blind hem, and what you're going to see is this is the part that I'm trying to avoid. The red is really lightweight. The black not so much, and the cream color isn't quite as fine as this red. Trying to do really tiny stitches with a single thread and keeping them well under the hem as I go along, and just take a few strands of the fabric just to hem stitch it and blind stitch it, and just make sure that your stitch is under the hem, because you don't want the hem pulling in this direction and causing a ridge when you look at it from the other side. So the idea is to take lots and lots of little tiny stitches, because we have I'm using one strand, and to just give it more strength, I'm doing it close together. Tiny stitches all the way around. What I've done previous to this is, in preparation, I trimmed away the excess fabric and then created about a 1/4 inch hem. And what you want to be careful of is when you turn your work this way, you don't want the hem to show at those 2 points. So it needs to be below, as you can see what I've got going here. It's below. And my one strand of thread, so I'll carry on here a little bit more and see how I'm doing. Also, when you run out of thread, as before, just do a back stitch in place, and then start again. You can start again with a back stitch, or if you're coming up with a knot, to begin, start underneath, and so that your knot slips in underneath. That's if you don't like to see knots. You can hide it underneath. And now I'm getting into the white, which is a little bit thicker, so I don't have to be quite as fussy. I want to get it through both layers here a little bit, so that there, all 3 layers got caught in that stitch. That's good. And then a little bit of the white fabric, keeping the stitch that you make underneath small and under, again under the hem, and then come up close to the edge of the hem so it's blind. It just sort of falls into the weave, and the fabric is the same color as the thread. So we're just doing a blind hem stitch along here. Now let's have a look at what I've done on the other side. Not too bad. A little bit showing here. Looks a bit like dust. I mean, if it really bothers me when I finish the mat, I could go back and do, take out a few stitches and redo a few stitches. Not a big deal. Depends on how much of a perfectionist you are. I've stopped being a perfectionist. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm using 3/4 inch applique pins, just a regular sewing needle, a single strand of thread, blind stitching the hem on my Poinsettia Petal Mat. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.